Hi everybody, this is Father Warner D'Souza. Today I would like to reflect with you on the text of Matthew chapter 9 verses 18 to 26. The Gospel of today is also found in Mark chapter 5 verse 21 to 43 and Luke chapter 8 verses 40 to 56, and put together with Matthew reveal layers of interesting detail. When seen together, which is really the meaning of the word synoptic used for Matthew, Mark and Luke, we know that the synagogue official's name was Jairus, whose 12-year-old daughter was raised from the dead, and that a woman suffering with a hemorrhage for 12 years was cured. Interestingly, the Gospel of Nicodemus, an apocryphal gospel, also known as the Acts of Pilate, mentions the name of the hemorrhaging woman as Bernice. Eusebius of Caesarea, a Greek historian of Christianity, an exegete and Christian polemist, mentions that the woman was a Gentile from Caesarea Philippi. So, is there some magic to the number 12? None whatsoever, unless you also believe there is a curse in the number 13. While Jairus was blessed with a daughter for 12 years, the woman was cursed with a bleeding for 12 years. So rather than looking for solace in numbers, Jairus and the woman chose to look to the Lord with eyes of faith. Interestingly, the interaction with the dead girl and the woman with the hemorrhage would have rendered Jesus ritually unclean. A pious Jew would think twice before touching a dead person. Remember the priest and the Levite who walked past the man beaten and left for dead in the parable of the Good Samaritan? Their heartless actions were perhaps a reaction to the fact that they were on their way to Jerusalem. To touch a potentially dead man would only involve more ceremonial cleansing. They followed the maxim, be safe rather than sorry, and so walked on. Sensitivity was lost that day to ceremonials. The Jewish law socially separated more people than it ever united them. A case in point is the woman in the miracle. Being a perpetual menstruant would have rendered her perpetually isolated from the rest. And to compound matters, Luke's Gospel tells us that she could not be healed by anyone and perhaps had spent all her money on doctors. The isolation has permeated all levels, stripping her of all her dignity. Jesus restores it all when she touches him. The woman's faith is accompanied by great sensitivity. Surely she knew that a touch from a woman such as her would render the rabbi unclean. She chose a lesser option. She touched the fringe of his cloak. This was probably one of the 4 tassels of the prayer shawl that Jesus wore as a reminder of God's law. Then again, she touched only the fringe. The might of the miracle is not seen in the moving of a mountain, but in a touch. Where humans are loath to touching, the divine sets the example even if he should have been rendered unclean in the sight of men. Jesus touches the little girl and allows himself to be touched by the woman with the hemorrhage. A touch strong enough for power to flow out of him. For a believer in Jesus Christ, my dear brothers and sisters, all things are possible, even raising the dead in his name. Perhaps our little faith prevents us in believing in the power given to us at our baptism. But even if we fail at that, we still have the power to reach out and touch somebody's hand to make the world a better place if we can. Perhaps the hard plastic of our mobile phones is the only skin we touch these days. Ironically, the skin that we are familiar with today is the design covers of our phone that serves as protection and personalization of our gadgets. I know we are living through these pandemic days, but it's time we touch the real thing. It's time we touch the Creator and His creation rather than our created things. God bless you. Thank you for watching. And I really would like to implore you that if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, may I ask you to please do that right now. All you've got to do is hit the subscribe button. You can also get all our texts, if you like them, at my blog spot called pottypadre.com. That's POTTYPADRE.com. You can also follow me on Instagram. God bless you.